Welcome to this special behind the scenes sessions with Decibel, hosted at the Joint Cannabis, one of the leading cannabis retailers in the Winnipeg. In this Depth PK event, we dive into Decibel's latest innovations and product lines that are shaping the future of Canadian cannabis, from general admission and Vox Puffs and other exciting brands under their umbrella. Whether you are a budtender, a connoisseur, or someone just exploring this space, this video offers you real-time insights into what makes these products unique, how they are made, and where the cannabis industry is heading. Let's step into the session and uncover what Decibel has been cooking up for 2025.
Let's get into it. I am going to share my screen. Let's see here. Okay. Here we go. All right. Does everybody see the Decibel Cannabis Company screen? Excellent. We love that. Well, let's get off and away. Fabulous, you guys. So this is our mission at Decibel. To deliver the ultimate expression of cannabis by empowering consumers for their need for transparency, choice, and meaningful innovation. And I think that is something that I'm so proud about.
93% THC.
Oh, any questions?
Yeah, drop a fruit basket. Drop a fruit basket.
I think your mic's unmuted there, Matthew. If you,
I think I was able. No, it's all good. There we go. So that is something that I love about working for Decibel, is that we are constantly putting out new innovation and meaningful products that are exciting for your customers and for your budtenders. And I think that you are going to be very, very impressed to continue to see some incredible products come into the market here. So our values are very simple. We grind, we craft, we care, and we grow. This is true for every part of our organization, whether you are working at our Thunderchild cultivation site in North Battleford, Saskatchewan, in your backyard, or in Creston, British Columbia, or in Calgary, Alberta, or in Chatham, Ontario. We've got 4 locations, 4 different facilities, and we've got a sales team across the country. And I've never met a group of people who are more kind, enthusiastic, smart, and just like driven, like it's such an incredible team to be a part of, and I'm very, very thankful. So let's get into it. How did all of us start? Where did Decibel Cannabis even begin? So this is actually where it all started. This picture is the Quest Estate in Creston, British Columbia, against the Skimmerhorn mountain range. And when this picture was taken, this was actually when it was a potato farm, because back in early days, this was where a lot of LPs took over, whether it was a potato farm or, where tomatoes are grown, greenhouses, right? Like there was lots of different types of facilities, and we're so lucky that we have this particular one. So let's talk about the Quest Estate just briefly here. Located in the Kootenays, which is often regarded as the green belt of cannabis because of the role of terroir, because it's got incredible humidity, sunlight, precipitation, all of those sorts of things. And we're so lucky that we actually have a mountain glacier spring that is the water source for this particular facility. So certainly state-of-the-art filtration system, but there's some beautiful minerals and nutrients in that water that you don't get anywhere else. Really the one thing I just want to highlight is, in terms of our operational details, is the size of our grow rooms. We are a craft producer, which means we have about 800 to 1,000 plants per room. Now, I know that that may seem like a lot, but if we were to compare ourselves to what I call mass licensed producers, they are upwards of 25,000 plants per room. So when you have, 800 to 1,000 plants per room, they get a human interaction every single day. We're able to be quick and nimble to the needs of the plant and the cultivars. So that is both the same at the Quest Estate and also for Thunderchild, just slightly larger grow rooms. at Thunderchild. So, I'm really excited. Cass and Dustin and your territory manager, Matt, are actually touring Thunderchild today. So I don't know, potentially there could be a tour for you guys in the future as well. I haven't had a chance to make it to Thunderchild myself. I really want to, just because, I don't know, being in a grow room, isn't that fun? You get to see all the different cannabis being grown, right? So slightly larger grow rooms, but still around 1,000 plants per room. And then our final facility is what we call the plant. This one is located in my backyard in Calgary, Alberta. This is where all things infused concentrated products. So all of our vapes are filled here. All of our infused pre-rolls are made here. We've got state-of-the-art machinery. We've got people who are working at these, products for you meticulously. We've got incredible machines that do upwards of 32,000 joints a day, but it's still all packed by hand. Real human people are keefing them and packing them and making sure that they are a phenomenal product to get to you and your customers. This place is a little bit like the Wonka factory. You walk outside and you smell tiger blood. And you're like, where am I? And it's a nondescript building. You don't know that it's our building, right? Shh, top secret. But you can smell the tiger blood from a mile away, which is amazing. So this is our portfolio: General Admission, Vox, Quest, and Blendcraft. So let's get into the hero of the show, General Admission. I had a video, but I don't think I'm sharing sound. So I'm actually just going to continue on throughout the video. Essentially, what the video is talking about is that we want to continue to go higher. What General Admission really stands for is bold flavors, big vibes. It's like going to a concert, right? Like when you buy a General Admission ticket and you're in the pit at a concert, you feel the vibes, you feel the energy. It's something exciting. And that's really the vibe and the presence and the products that we want to bring to you and your customers. So that's really what this video was all about. I'm just going to skip through that. That video just indicates that all of our distillate products now have a minimum potency percentage. So I know that you guys have some of our beloved favorite flavors out there, which I would love if I'm presenting something on flavors and you guys have different flavors and you want to know my 2 cents on them or any more information on them, please take yourself off mute or put it in the chat and we can talk about it. But here we go. For our distillate products, our distillate vapes are now a minimum of 90% potency. Our distillate infused pre-rolls, these guys on the screen, the fuzzy bat that changed the game, I like to call it, those are a minimum of 38% THC. And then our diamond products are even higher. So let's get into this incredible pre-roll. I don't know about you guys, but this was my first product that I had ever tried with General Admission, was the Peach Rings pre-roll. I'm just looking in the chat here. We see that Grant loves the Very Berry Liquid Diamond vape. That one is so delicious. And then Jameson at the Portage location, all time taster pack with grapey grape, watermelon splash, and likey lychee. Isn't that interesting? I love that you love that, Jameson. We don't have those flavors. We have likey lychee still in the market here in Alberta, but grapey grape is gone, and there are a lot of unhappy people. And same as that watermelon splash. Those are delicious. So, when we talk about, I know, but I promise we are always putting out new amazing products. We have a new liquid diamond flavor, which I'll talk about in a moment, which I think will help you with your heartbreak over the grapey grape, I promise. So for our infused pre-rolls, some of the key selling features that I love to share with you guys, for you to share with your customers, all of our pre-rolls are made with whole flower. What that means is it's not a blend of different strains, and it's made from whole flower initially. It's not made from trim or shake. So it's going to be craft quality cannabis, which makes for an incredible burn. It is infused with our triple distilled and triple filtered distillate, which I'll get into a little bit more when we talk about our vapes in a moment. All of them are hand rolled in our premium keef, and they have some of the best flavors out there. Now, just a quick moment talking about keef, because I've had a lot of questions recently with our new diamond joints, which are also coated in keef. There is a very, not only aesthetic reason why we keef our joints, but there's a few other things. So like I said, aesthetically, it looks so cool, doesn't it? When you see a keef coated joint, you're just like, yeah, I want to smoke that. That looks great. It also helps make it look really uniform. Another really crucial thing is it actually provides some structural integrity to the joint itself, right? It makes it a stronger joint. And then most notably is the burn. When you have keef on your joint, it actually is a higher combustion rate, which means it will provide a slower burn. So it's actually, once it catches on fire and once it got that nice cherry going, you're going to have a really beautiful, smooth, even burn throughout the whole joint. And that is why we went ahead with our diamond joints to have the keef coating on the outside as well. So just thought I would point that out there, just because some people ask, they're like, why don't you put diamonds on the outside? Well, diamonds, they certainly look cool, but the problem with them is they are a lower combustion rate, which means your joint smokes a lot faster. So this one, with general admission, kick back, relax, enjoy your joint. So I think we went through all of the different features with the general admission pre-rolls. And then this is our cornucopia of flavors. Incredible. Tiger Blood. This is the #1 product in the country. You know, I still every day get customers, get retailers telling me how beloved Tiger Blood is. No one can touch it. It is the best flavor out there. If you're curious what the flavor profile is, because we don't list what the flavor profile is on any of our packages, because we also want people to experience what they will from it. But Tiger Blood is watermelon, strawberry, blood orange, and coconut. But the primary flavors of which you really taste is the watermelon and the strawberry. That's really essentially what it is. And fun fact, in case you didn't know where the Tiger Blood flavor came from, it actually came from the 1950s in Hawaii at shaved ice stands. The shaved ice is a big treat in Hawaii, obviously with it being beautiful year round. I would love for shaved ice to be a treat, right? And so what they did is they combined strawberry syrup and watermelon syrup, and it made it really bright red, and they called it Tiger Blood. Fun fact, you can Google it if you want to know more. Grapey Grape, Jameson said that he loved that one. I also love the Grapey Grape, and I can't wait for you to try the new grape that we have out. High Key Kiwi, Huckleberry, Crimson Toro. Crimson Toro is a sweet and tangy kind of blue raspberry and pomegranate flavor. Passion Fruit Dream, this one again is a little bit of a sweet and tangy moment. I love this one. It is called Dream for a reason. It is absolutely our heaviest indica out there. And then Strazzleberry. Oh, our newest indica. This one here is what I call a first cousin to Tiger Blood, because if Tiger Blood's primary flavors are strawberry and watermelon, Strazzleberry is strawberry and raspberry. So for your customers who love the Tiger Blood, you can very confidently suggest Strazzleberry to them. And then we've got a lot of different beautiful sativas. Where are my sativa divas in the house? We got our Peach Riz, formerly known as Peach Rings. I know, I wanted it to stay rings, but Health Canada said, no, it's too much like the candy. What can you do, right? So we got some Riz. I had to have my younger Gen Z coworkers teach me what it was, because as an elder millennial, I went, what word are we using? What is that? And they're like, Megan, is charisma. I'm like, oh, all right. Okay. So that, I don't know, maybe there's some elder millennials on the call who didn't know what Riz was either. So now we know. Five Loco is our version of a cherry blaster. We got cherry and lime. Jungle fruit, think all things like orange and yellow. So we got our pineapples, we got our peaches, we got our oranges. Cactus juice is our version of a Mountain Dew. So you got a sweet lemon and a sour lime moment. And then one of our newest sativas is Blue Raz. Again, everything you want from a straight up blue raspberry flavor. We have launched a few new flavors in Alberta that are already taking off, which is so exciting. Our two new sativas are straw kiwi. So we combine that strawberry note with the kiwi. And then we also launched pineapple drift. Oh my Lord. It is like, and it's straight pineapple. There's no coconut, no colada in there. And then the newest indica distillate is called Apples and Bananas. And this one is becoming like that meme where it's like, what do you see? The white and blue dress or the black and gold dress? That's what Apples and Bananas is becoming, because I taste banana, and then there's so many people coming at me. They're like, no way, it tastes like apples. And I'm like, I don't know what we're tasting, but it's a delicious one. So stay tuned for those. Oh, This one gives a little sneak peek to the straw kiwi. And then we do have a handful of flavors in the hybrid category, our Razalicious, our Likey Lychee, and then our Glitter Bomb. And our Glitter Bomb is peach, raspberry, and cotton candy. Delicious. Now, I'll let you guys know something that we're doing at General Admission is that we are moving away from the hybrid category and we are just focusing on indica and sativa. And the reason for that is because when we take a look at sales nationally, that's really how the distillate and diamond customer shops. They want to know exactly what kind of experience that they're going to have, right? So sometimes some beautiful flavors like these hybrid flavors here get overlooked because people are like, well, I don't know, is it going to make me feel more uppy and dancy or more in the couch, right? So that's part of the reason why. So that's something that you'll continue to see from us as we're moving forward with indicas and sativas. And then of course, we've got our beloved taster pack where we have a couple different flavors. Jameson said the flavors that you liked in the taster pack. The new flavors are Blue Raz, High Key Kiwi, and Jungle Fruit. And then we actually just also launched a 5 taster pack that you guys might start to see soon, which is, let me jog my memory, Peach Riz, Tiger Blood, Passion Fruit Dream, Blue Raz, and Straw Kiwi. Divine. So, something that we're so proud about is that, we continue to surprise and delight customers and bud tenders across the country. And when we do different sampling programs, we ask for feedback and we are able to obtain some stats through what people are saying, and 94% of bud tenders would recommend General Admission to a customer or friend. So we say thank you, and we want to keep on impressing you guys with some new flavors. Let's talk about our vape carts, because this one, without the distillate, we wouldn't have those incredible joints and those flavors. So, when we talk about, I find often with vapes, oftentimes what happens is a customer can get pretty focused on price or potency. Am I right? That's often what it is, right? Somebody's like, give me the highest THC or give me the lowest dollar amount. And we know that there's that third component of the triangle. If price and potency are on there, the third one is going to be quality. So that's something that I want to share with you guys, some tidbits about what we like. We're so proud about the distillate that we use and how incredible quality it is. And this is something that you and your bud tenders can share with your customers. So someone says, well, why do I want to pay $2 more for the General Admission vape? Say, well, if you've never tried a General Admission vape, let me tell you, their distillate, triple distilled, triple filtered, using both CO2 and ethanol extraction methods. All of our cannabis is grown in British Columbia genetics that were pheno-hunted for the highest amount of THC and the lowest amount of other cannabinoids. Why do we do all of this extra distillation process? Because with every single refinement and distillation, you're getting a purer, nicer, smoother, cleaner product. So I kind of compare it to orange juice. Orange juice with pulp is single distillation. Orange juice with some pulp would be like a double distillation. And then orange juice with no pulp, that's going to be your triple distillation and filtration. So like the best vodkas in the world, you're going to have that extra filtration. I have asked, I'm like, well, then why don't we do quadruple? And they're like, it's all done after 3. There's nothing else to refine after that. So just in case anybody else had that question as well. So we are so thankful that our hardware as well has been doing really, really well. If you're at all curious about learning more about our hardware, the hardware manufacturer used to be known as AVD, and it's now has been rebranded and renamed to Active. So Google them. They're a phenomenal company based out of California, founded by someone who wanted to start their own live resin cart brand. And while he was trying to find hardware, he was really dissatisfied with what was out there. So like every creative entrepreneurial stoner, what does he do? He makes his own. And so this is made by a cannabis consumer for cannabis consumers. So we're really, really pleased with how beautiful our hardware is. I see in the chat here, Grant, I taste a strong banana on the exhale of the very berry. That's interesting. I don't know if I've ever tasted that, Grant, but thank you for letting me know that. If you get more feedback on that from customers or your bud tenders, please reach out to us. Let Matt, your territory manager, know, because he can do that. He can file that to our quality assurance team with the lot number, just because the very berry profile is raspberry, blueberry, raspberry, blueberry, and blackberry. So you probably shouldn't be tasting any banana, but thank you for letting me know that. So these are some of our vape flavors. We got the Tiger Blood, Strazzleberry, Peach Riz, Jungle Fruit, Cactus Juice, Blue Rat, Straw Kiwi, Glitter Bomb, all of the flavors that we have in our pre-rolls. And again, you know, we are so thankful that General Admission is the #1 leading brand in 1 gram 510 vapes in the country. So, of course, what did we have to do? We had to keep going, keep growing, because we noticed a massive uptick in sales in liquid diamonds. So they are strong AF, buckle up. Let's talk a little bit about these highest potency vapes that we have made yet. So when we talk about liquid diamonds, like, we can just see that that is an emerging trend in the market. Let's be real. It sounds cool, doesn't it? I know when I first heard about liquid diamonds, I was like, yes, I love a liquid diamond. I love a diamond. Make it liquid. Let me vape it. Let me smoke it. Let's do it. So when you think about how do you recommend the difference between a General Admission distillate vape and a General Admission liquid diamond vape, the question that I would ask your customer is, what is more important to you, flavor intensity or potency? Now, I will say the majority of our distillate vapes they're going to be minimum 90%, and a lot of them clock in at 92, 93%. And then our diamond vapes are minimum 95%. So we're kind of splitting hairs at that point, but there are some people that are like, give me 110% THC, right? They want the most possible. If that's that customer that they're like, I want the highest potency, go for the diamond. If the customer is like, man, I love that Tiger Blood vape, there's nothing like it, you know, and I love the flavor on it, keep going with the distillate then. In terms of the actual high, they are going to be different. I would say it's pretty nominal. However, there are some people that have told me that they feel like that diamonds are smoother on their, like, it's like, doesn't feel as harsh on their lungs. I think that probably has to do with botanical terpenes. There's going to be fewer botanical terpenes added into the liquid diamond vape in order to make room for the potency. But in our distillate vape, there's going to be more flavor. And with all General Admission product, doesn't matter if it's distillate or diamonds, the flavor is going to be wildly intense. I would just say if they want like an 11 out of 10 for flavor, stick with the distillate. If they want like an 11 out of 10 for potency, go for the diamonds. Hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, please ask away or drop in the chat. Sam, thank you so much. Tiger's Blood is chef's kiss, isn't it? Hey, so these are the 3 flavors that we have launched for our liquid diamond vapes. We got the Very Berry is the indica, the Tangerine Twist, and the Atomic Apple are our sativas. And drum roll, letting you know what is dropping in Alberta this week, which I'm sure will come to Manitoba and Saskatchewan soon, is Grape Grenade. So Grapey Grape, she went away, she worked on herself, and now she's coming back with Grenade. So for all the Grapey Grape fans, don't worry, we got something new coming. Have better flavor on liquid diamond vape than any distillate. Really? Okay, that's great to hear, Grant. I'm super happy to hear. I think that the flavor intensity of our liquid diamond vapes is quite potent. Like, I'm like, oh no, this is great. I have tried some other liquid diamond vapes that it feels like the flavor is a bit more muted, but for ours, to your point, really nice flavor. Something else that I just wanted to point out in regards to the hardware on these vapes here is that you can see that the mouthpiece color matches the flavor. So we did that intentionally to create a differentiation between the distillate vapes, which are just going to be your black ceramic mouthpiece, and these guys, so that when a customer walks in and you see that bright green mouthpiece, I think I actually have one right here for my display, and I love it. I think it's so cool. It's like more transparent, like more acrylic looking, and it gives me like kind of like 90s vibes. So yeah, so that is what it looks like. And something that you'll notice as well is the actual color of the diamonds is just so beautiful. Like it's even lighter in color than our distillate. So just wanted to let you know a little bit about that. So yeah, this is why we did it. We saw that in 2024 liquid diamond vape sales grew over 220%. And, I've had some retailers tell me within the last month or so that 45% of their total vape sales have become liquid diamond sales. So we know that this is absolutely the direction. And I'm so happy that we are already on the bandwagon. And then, of course, if we were going to put out liquid diamond vapes, what's the next evolution? Of course, we had to get in the game of the ultra infused pre-rolls. Wow, locked and loaded. Let's get into it. So how are these joints different than our other ones? So when we think about infusion, as a licensed producer, we are permitted to put 1,000 milligrams of THC in any product except edibles. Thank the Lord we don't have that. I know that we could use a little higher than 10, but anyway, so we're allowed to put 1,000 milligrams of THC, whether it's a vape, whether it's pre-rolls, whatever. So when you have 3.5 grams, that works out to a potency average between 60 and 65%. So just to give you a little bit of the understanding of how and why we are going to that threshold, why we don't have like 100% pre-rolls or whatever it is, it's because we've got 1,000 milligrams of THC that we can work with. So in terms of our ultra infused pre-rolls, it is liquid diamond and THC isolate infused in the flower with, as I was mentioning, our signature keef coating on the outside. When you take a look at an ultra infused and place it right next to a distillate infused, and we try to kind of show this in the picture, it will look a little bit smaller. And the only reason for that is because when you do another infusion in it, it makes the flower more compact, right? Like if you think about baking, right? I don't know. I haven't used this analogy yet. Let's see if it works. If we think about baking, if we've got just a little bit of liquid in there, we're, mixing around in the dry ingredients, it'll start to, kind of come down in volume and size. But it's when you're adding even more liquid to that recipe that it continues to get a little bit smaller and smaller. So that's the same thing of what happens with ultra infused joints, is that it absolutely is half a gram. It just appears a little bit smaller because of that extra infusion. Now, I doubt anybody would look at them and go, wow, that looks tiny. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to point it out just because some people, in case you do have your diehard Tiger Blood fans, and then they go, wait a minute, this one looks a little bit smaller. Now you know why. It's that extra infusion that's in there. But our team have worked tirelessly on research and development on this one to get it right so that it looks good, that it burns beautifully. And I can tell you, I've had a chance to smoke quite a few of these new flavors, and they slap. I would also say, when you have diamonds just on the outside, I wonder, this is just me wondering, I have no scientific proof for it. While it looks really cool, I feel like I smoke through them much faster, the diamond coated joints, and they don't actually hit me as hard. I will say, smoking these, I was surprised. I've got a very high tolerance, and I was shocked at how potent these bad boys are. So just wanted to give you the heads up. So we launched with 2 flavors, Atomic Apple and Very Berry. And since then, we have actually launched 3 new flavors. So Grape Grenade is now out there. Tiger Blood, of course, we had to put our star horse in the race. And then a mixer pack, which is actually Tiger Blood, Atomic Apple, and Grape Grenade. So you guys are probably going to start to see those soon. Grape Grenade and Tiger Blood in the mixer pack just launched in Alberta a couple weeks ago. And already I've had retailers tell me, they're like, we have people who the Grape Grenade's already their favorite, and they're coming back and repeat purchasing. Again, everything that we do, we take a look at where the consumer demand is, right? And we saw that high THC pre-rolls grew almost 200% in 2024, and the diamond infused pre-rolls grew over 238%, and now represent like 2/3 of the category. So again, we know that customers want even more potency, so we're going to do it the general admission way. So moving away from the diamond products, we're going to start talking a little bit about our all-in-one vapes. These bad boys are made with the same incredible distillate, that is triple filtered and distilled. And then this is what the lineup looks like. We since have added on a new flavor, a new color, Crimson Toro and Pineapple Drift, which is in some beautiful sunny yellow golden hardware. They don't say on here the education that I love to share. So again, this is the same manufacturer, Active. And if you take a look online, the CEO, he actually has videos now of him showing how to preheat this unit. And it's very simple. You just turn it upside down and you blow through the bottom. Now, this is going to be for the times when you are in a setting that's below room temperature, because distillate doesn't like the cold, right? If you're sitting at room temp, you go to haul on it, you're fine. However, if it is a little bit chillier, at nighttime or whatever it is, and you go to haul on it and it's not going right away, flip that bad boy upside down, blow through the bottom. You're going to start to see vapor come out the mouthpiece. Not going to lie, I make it into like a little party and I like make it my little smoke machine. You kind of do that and then you sort of inhale and then away you go. It's also a really great troubleshooting tip if your customer brings it back and says, hey, this isn't working. Say, have you tried blowing through the bottom yet? So wanted to say that as a really great tip to be able to share with your customers. And a fun feature as well is when you look in the mouthpiece of this guy, there's actually like a little spiral that goes up the chimney of the mouthpiece. And that is on purpose so that when you're hauling on it, the vapor climbs the spiral, which allows a little bit of extra time to cool down, which means you can actually have bigger, better hauls on it. And I will admit it does. It's got some oomph to it. I really like these units. Again, why do we do this? Well, we can see a massive trend in the market, over 100% growth in disposable vapes, or AIO, which stands for all in one. And then we have our beloved soft chews. So this is like a small but mighty category for us. I love our edibles. This is a video of me talking about edible things. I can share it with you guys afterwards if you really want to. I basically in the video talk about how interesting thing about consuming an edible. I'm actually going to pose this as a question. Let's have a question because I've been talking a lot. When you consume an edible and THC goes through your liver, does anybody know what happens? I'm going to put that out there. I'll let you guys come off mute or pop in the chat. And in the meantime, I'm going to share some key selling features of our soft chews. Number one, they are a chew. They're not a gummy, which means they are vegan friendly because they're made with pectin. They are gluten-free and they are all made with natural flavors. And when you taste them, they're coated in this incredible sour sugar. So it's an immediate pucker, and then it goes into this beautiful sweet moment. And all of them are 2 different colors, and that is done on purpose because we know that there are still customers that want to have an edible that is a microdose option. So there's 2 general admission tickets in each bag. And then if you were to want to microdose 2.5 milligrams, you would simply just bite off 1/2 of the ticket, one of the colors. There you go. Okay. Has anybody had a chance to get an answer for me of what happens? It does, Arden. Yes. And it is called, so it's Delta 9 that goes in and it comes out 11-hydroxy. 11-hydroxy THC. So it's a different compound. Yes. 11-OH. Look at you. Yes. So 11-hydroxy THC, which means it is a more potent, more powerful form of THC, which is crazy because normally when the liver does its job, it breaks it down into smaller compounds. But it breaks it into a smaller compound, but it actually creates a stronger form of THC, which is why you might have people that say, I had this edible and I was high for 8 hours and I saw the Lord and I was making deals with him to bring me back down to earth. That may have happened to me, some of us on the call, right? That's why. And I think that that's honestly why Health Canada has also put a limit of 10 milligrams, knowing that it can affect people greatly, right? Just putting that out there. So kind of a fun fact. So that's another thing that you can ask people. And for the people who are like, 10 milligrams doesn't even touch me. I would recommend, say, listen, you're buying the Tiger Blood pre-rolls, buy a Tiger Blood edible, eat the edible, smoke your joint, and tell me you don't feel different at the end of that joint. You're going to feel fantastic. You're going to be flying high, my friend. So we've got all of these flavors. We got Tiger Blood, Grapey Grape, Crimson Toro, Five Loco, Razalicious, and then we started to play with some minor cannabinoids. At this time, minor cannabinoids only live in our portfolio in edibles. Who knows? We might start to see them in vapes and joints in the future, but for now, it is just our edibles. Our CBN flavor is Blackberry Acai, and then we've got two that are THC and CBG, our Passion Fruit Mango, and our Strawberry Kiwi. I agree, Sam. The design being a ticket's so cute. And I think it's fun. I'm all like, and sometimes I want to like try to rip it, like rip the ticket kind of idea. It's kind of fun. I like our brand. And then the final piece for the general admission portfolio. I didn't think that we could do any more, but here we are in milled. So this particular product is so interesting. I must admit, when I was first hearing about the product, I was all like, milled flower, because I knew that milled flower as a general category normally isn't the greatest quality product. Am I right? I don't think I'm speaking any lies there. And then I was very curious how we were going to do it. And I am so pleased that we have done it the general admission way, that it is a high quality milled flower product. So all of our milled flower, it is boosted with terpenes. And we're using the term boosted rather than infused to try and avoid confusion, because this is dried flower that has the same botanical terpenes that are used in our distillate, pre-rolls, and our vapes that give it that big, bold flavor. So all of the milled flower is whole flower, meaning again, no trim or shake, and it's not a blend of strains. It is going to be a single strain. And it is also a coarse grind. And you know that because when you shake the bag, you can actually hear it. There's no powder, which is so nice, right? And I mean, if it was powderized, then what would the terp stick to? When I tell you, when you open up that bag, it fills the room with the aroma. I was all like, this is like Tiger Blood potpourri. I just want to put this in a little jar and just leave it over here and just fill my room with the scent, because it is wildly flavorful. And as someone with a higher tolerance, I was like, let's see how this works. I prefer a 1 gram joint if I'm going to smoke, regular flower. So I made myself a 1 gram joint of this bad boy. When I tell you, I was roasty toasty by the end of that 1 gram, and I was shocked at how flavorful it was and how much those botanical terpenes actually do affect the overall high. It felt way higher than a 24% THC to me. And so what I've been offering to people and saying to bud tenders is, when your customer walks in and buys that Tiger Blood pre-roll, say, hey, what do you want to do after you smoke one of these? You want to smoke another joint, right? Like, that's just how it goes, right? Especially this summer, like, it's warm weather. We're outside. We don't have to be shivering in the cold. We get to enjoy smoking. We get to go for walks and be with people. So this is a really cool offering to say, listen, get your Tiger Blood pre-rolls, buy one of these 8s of the milled flower, and smoke one of these after your other joint to keep the vibe going. You still get all that flavor, but you're not necessarily torturing your tolerance or your bank account. So my 2 cents on it. I can't wait for you guys to try it. Another fun fact about each of the bags is that it does come with a humidity pack. So it really makes for the flower to be a very, very nice experience. And I see that Arden has written in the chat, milled products super popular with Saskatoon customers. Yay. I must admit, like, when somebody, like, they might look at the price and they're like, but I can get a 7 gram milled in this brand for the same price. And it's like, yeah, you could. That one doesn't taste like Tiger Blood though. You know what I mean? So I think that what I've also heard is some people say that they like to add on for your milled customer to say, hey, you are picking up that 7 gram milled of that brand. Why don't you pick up an 8th of the general admission and you can mix it with it? Some people have told me that they love the Tiger Blood milled with like those blueberry hash strips, right? And then they can roll their own or put it in a bowl or whatever, like, there's a lot of creative ways that you can use this product and how you can add it on for your customer. So Super excited for you guys to get a chance to try it. Right now we have launched Tiger Blood and Peach Riz in 3.5 gram. We will be launching Pineapple Drift soon. But the reason why we went into the 8 space is because we saw that last year 3.5 gram milled grew over 450%. What? And that milled flower has also grown a lot in popularity just in the overall flower category. So if anybody was wondering, hey, why didn't you launch with the 7? Why didn't you launch with the 10? We wanted to come out with a really incredible quality product, bring it in at the 8th, make it so that it's around $20, so that it's something new for people to try. Not everything in the general admission portfolio needs to be over $30, right? There are going to be some people who are like, I got $20, I got $25. What do you got for me? And you can get this. So that's it for general admission. Wanting to do just a quick touch point with Tristan. How are we for time? I know that we're coming up on 45 minutes, and just seeing if you want me to continue on talking about Vox.
I think with us coming to the 45 minutes here, if there was a little bit on Vox that you wanted to touch base on, you're totally good to continue on here.
Okay.
Yeah, you betcha.
Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. This is a great opportunity for me to also open it up. What questions, comments, concerns do you guys have about general admission? Are you guys excited? Maybe. We're thinking. Do you have any flavors or products in your market that I didn't touch on that you have a question about? Oh, excellent. Thank you for that feedback, Arden. I know for me, when I was reminded of that, because when we launched the diamond joints, a lot of questions came my way. Why don't you do diamonds on the outside? I'm like, that's a really good question. So when I talked to our product development team, they were like, oh, this is why. I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Very excited for Blue Raz. Amazing supply chain. Look forward to trying all the flavors. Incredible. So for Vox, do you guys just have the pre-rolls, or do you also have the vapes? Boop, boop. Maybe? Does anybody know? Yes, dispos and 510s. Okay, perfect. Okay, then I will talk about that. Okay, let me just pull this up here, and I'm going to share my screen again. Here we go. Amazing. All right, we've got the Vox Puffs there. Now, I'll admit our branding has changed from this. It is no longer the blue clouds, and I'll show you a little bit of the preview of our new branding. But we wanted to get into 1.2 gram 510 cartridges because we saw that they were growing in popularity. And so we actually created a whole new brand because of 2 ideas. One of them in the vape being 1.2 gram, and then I'll get into it in the pre-rolls in a moment. So this is the same distillate, the same quality distillate and terpenes as general admission, but at a cheaper price point. So this is a fantastic opportunity, to let people know, say, hey, these are the makers of general admission. If you love Tiger Blood, you are going to love Tango Straw Mango. Tango Straw Mango has a very similar flavor profile to Tiger Blood, but it's a sativa. And then the Peach Melon Berry is really similar to Peach Riz, but an indica. And you can see with the hardware as well, we went for that short stubby, I call it like a barrel style. And then as a reminder, because we can only do 1,000 milligrams of THC, that's why 1.2 gram carts or disposables are always 80 to 83%, because that's the highest that they can be for the amount of volume of 1.2 grams. We did launch a few new flavors. Blueberry Pom Pom is a sativa, which is so fun because normally blueberry flavor profiles or pomegranate flavor profiles are indicas. And then we also launched a product called Grape Jams. So again, for the Grapey Grape fans, before you can get your hands on the Grape Grenade, you can try out some Grape Jams. And then we did do a 1-to-1 THC and CBD. This product has been sunsetted for us. It wasn't as popular as we hoped it would be, just not as many customers looking for 1-to-1s, but that one is still out there. And then our disposables, these little guys are an airy pull. Don't get a great haul. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's good to know, Arden. For me, I can see why they would say that. I will say though, with that, these units never clog. I've haven't had a single return on these guys. So perhaps just the way that the unit is, maybe you might have to pull on it a little bit harder. I do find I get a good amount of airflow and haul on it. So again, if that sort of feedback is consistent for you guys, please let Matt know so that he can tell our QA team, because generally speaking, with this, it does have like a pretty good airflow and a good pull. Of course, your regular 510s are always going to give you more vapor because you can control the temperature. So that I would say, just as a general thing for all-in-ones, is like, for our all-in-ones anyways, you can't control the temperature. And then when you think about temperature to sort of cloud ratio, the lower the temperature means more flavor, but smaller clouds. And then the higher the temperature means less flavor, but bigger clouds. So I think how our team looked at it is we would rather do it at like an average heating. You know, I don't actually know what this is set at. My guess though is this is probably somewhere between 2.8 and 3.0 volts. Based on what I see with my own batteries with 510s and compared to this. So, you know, that's actually a really great, you know, point. Love the flavor and found other AO. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, you know, the new ones that are coming into the market, that you might like those ones better, or maybe the general admission ones might be better for you too. I think that with disposables, it really is also one of those things. Does your customer prefer what I call like the palm style, so the smaller, shorter one, or do they like more of that stick style? I think that the other one, the general admission one, is a little bit more of a premium hardware, so it is going to give you a little bit of a bigger pull. So yes, same flavor profiles as the carts: Tango Straw Mango, Peach Melonberry, Blueberry Palm, Grape Jams, and then Strawberry Kiwi Harmony. We have launched a new flavor as well that isn't featured here, called Hi-Fi Lime, which utilizes that beautiful green hardware. Then we also have our beautiful Vox Pops pre-rolls. Now, this was the idea that kind of sparked creating Vox as a brand as well. If anybody is familiar with those cigarettes from overseas where they've got that crushable bead in the filter, we wanted to take that same kind of concept and put it into a joint and make it like a true to cannabis experience. So that's where Vox Pops was born. So in each of the joints is what we call like a little flavor bead. Essentially what's in that bead is a bit of MCT oil and terpenes. What happens is when you squeeze and you hear it pop, you burst the bead, and the bead stays, the liquid stays in the filter tip, okay? It soaks a little bit of cotton that's in the filter tip. So what you're doing when you're smoking is you are pulling the smoke through the flavor. This is important to note because some people thought that, oh no, what am I inhaling? What is this? None of what gets in the bead gets into the flower, which means you're not combusting what's in the bead. So in the actual flower itself is liquid diamond infusion and some terpenes. So you've got a little bit of flavor, like a light amount of flavor, and the liquid diamond infusion. And then if you want to pump it up, you want even more flavor, then you can pop the bead. I find that these particular pre-rolls are really popular with nicotine vapors because they're used to that really intense amount of flavor. And some people are like, I want a high potency joint, but I don't want keef. Or I want diamond and I don't want keef. You know, like there's different, you know, products for everybody. And this is for the customer who doesn't want distillate, doesn't want keef, but wants something that's higher potency and loves the ability to choose some flavor. So we've got a number of different flavors. We've got cherry bomb, blueberry kush, banana peel, mango OG, grape ice, watermelon punch, as well as a variety pack, which we call Big Shiny Pops. There's a unique flavor in the Big Shiny Pops mixer pack called Strawberry Diesel, which you could only get in that pack until this product came out. So old branding, where we separated the pops and the puffs, to new branding where everything is known as Vox. certainly it's going to take us some time to get through the hardware and also the cones that we have for these pre-rolls. But in the future, something that you're going to continue to see is just Vox as an overall brand. So we launched these little guys, which are called shuffles, which is essentially like a mini variety pack. So it's 2 half-gram sativas. So in the sativa pack right now, it's going to be strawberry diesel and watermelon punch, and then 2 half-gram indicas, blueberry kush, and mango OG. Always a minimum of 40% potency. And again, why do we do this? Because we can see that there is a growing demand for diamond infused pre-rolls as well as the 2 by half-gram. Again, you know, not everybody wants to spend, you know, 30 to 50 bucks at a given time. Most do, but there are the people that are like, I got 20 bucks, right? This is for them as well. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea in terms of Vox. Quest, is there Quest in Manitoba and Saskatchewan? I'm sorry if I don't know this. Maybe Tristan says yes. Okay, we talked about Quest in terms of where we were at. Blast from the past. So we've actually done like a little bit of a revamp on Quest. And what we've done is we've drastically dropped the price point. So now Quest, what we stand for is still small batch, hang dried, and top cuts. And now what we do is like a hand trim finish. And so our bud still looks really beautiful. But by us, you know, doing that, we've been able to then drop the price point a little bit. This just goes over some of the growers' notes. Ultimately, our team, they do lighting depending on what it is for that particular cultivar. The substrate for anybody who's super interested in growing mediums and methods, we use cocoa. Why do we use cocoa? Because it does a better job of holding the nutrients for a longer period of time so that we can have a more consistent, even feeding and watering schedule. Curing after all it's trimmed, it's then cured in large big metal sea vault containers which are burped daily for 7 days. And all of our products, including all of our general admission and Vox products, is third-party lab tested for cannabinoid and terpene content. And so that means the number that you see on the bag or the label is in fact true. Oh man, Arden, Point Break. Do you know how much we have begged our product development team that we want to do like a legacy or like a vintage Quest relaunch with Point Break, Mac 1, Forbidden Fruit, Kush Mints? Any of those sound familiar? What was another one? Like, I think there was an ice cream cake or a wedding cake. Like, there were some bangers back in the day. So these are the ones that we have available right now. You know, I'll just leave this on the screen for right now because I'm not sure which ones you guys have in the market. If you guys recognize any of them though, please let me know and I can speak to it. Maybe not. Okay. I love our flower. I've loved Quest flower from the beginning. You know, I think that it was one of the first quality cannabis companies out there, especially like early days, right? Like late 2018, early 2019. Man, I was paying $70 for an eighth of Quest Reserve because it was the best on the market, right? So I have a soft spot for Quest. I love Quest flower. You know, very quickly, I'll just kind of run through these in case you guys do get any of them. Bubble bath. Why is it named that? Because it makes you feel like you're in a bubble bath. It's deeply relaxing, such a unique terpene profile on that. Limonene gives you that cerebral boost, and then the caryophyllene gives you that deep body relaxation. Duct tape. This one is a powerhouse. Gorilla Glue number 4 crossed with Do-Si-Do. This one is one of the most intense, to me, sativa leaning hybrids. It is very buzzy, very cerebral. Guava 74, Star Dog, and Afghan. This one is funky and cheesy and sweet. It's got a bit of humulene in it. And if you know humulene, it's an appetite suppressant. So I love smoking this one in the evening after supper time. PS Cheetah. The genetic name on that one is actually Cheetah Piss, but because of rules, we're not allowed to call it that. Incredible genetic. It's like lemonade, gelato 42, London pound cake. It's like creamy and sweet and delicious. Why it was called cheetah piss is because in the final stages of growing, it smells like ammonia in the growing room. But after it's cured and by the time you get to it, and believe me, I tested, I was like, if I smell any ammonia, I am going to riot. Of course not. Of course it's not going to smell like ammonia. Who would want to smoke that, right? But to let you know, the breeder of the genetic named it cheetah piss as like an homage to the infamous cat piss strain. Grape cream cake is an award winner for us. Ice cream cake, grape pie, wedding crasher. We won the Karma Cup out in Ontario, 3rd place, which was a blind panel of judges. And the 1st and 2nd place winners were ultra micro craft growers. And the fact that we won 3rd place was incredible. When you want that frosty purple bud, that's going to be a heavy indica that makes you go down weird YouTube rabbit holes. That's the strain. Morning Sun. Why do we have an indica called Morning Sun? I was very confused when this first launched, and then I learned that the genetic name for Morning Sun is Asahi, A-S-A-H-I, which is also the name of a Japanese beer. So we can't call it that because of trademark and related to alcohol. We're not allowed to have any names related to alcohol. So Morning Sun is Asahi in English. That's what Asahi translates to English from Japanese. This one, delicious. It's citrusy. It's caramelly. It's high in terpenoline, which is such a unique terp for an indica. Normally you find those more often in sativas. Terpenoline makes you feel like you're stoned for the first time. It's the blissful, goofy, happy, giggly kind of terp. And then Granny Guava is a beautiful sativa. It's guava crossed with gelato. So it gives you that beautiful, sweet gelato flavor and also a more chill, relaxed sativa because it's got myrcene in the top terps. So any Quest flower now that is new is going to be 28% minimum THC. We are going to be launching a new strain soon called Georgia Pie, which I can't wait to try. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but there you go. And then we do have our blend craft joints as well, which ultimately are a blend of 2 different strains coming together to give you more potency and more flavor at a cheaper price point. So there you go, my friends. On the dot.
And that wrap up our exclusive PK session with Decibel at the Joint. A big thank you to the reps and host who broke down the science, the vision, and creativity behind these growing cannabis brands, from general admissions flavor forward experience to the clean potency of Vox Puffs and the smooth convenience. If you found this session valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for more behind the scenes, events, product reviews, and deep dive into the cannabis culture right here on the channel. Until next time, stay curious, stay conscious, and as always, keep elevating.